All right, well, hello, sisters and brothers. I got a special announcement for you here today, and it is in regards to our worship this Sunday, June the 7th. It's going to be a really fun, really good day for us. We're not only going to celebrate Holy Communion together, we're not only going to celebrate our graduating high school seniors, but it's also the first Sunday where we are kind of expanding our reach a little bit as far as where we can worship, actual spaces for worship. This Sunday is where we're starting to allow not just the drive-in version, but also allowing folks to sit outside if they want to be outside and sit and enjoy worship in that respect. And so the purpose of this message, real quick, is just kind of go over, well, what is that going to look like? What does that even mean to sit outside? What are the kind of things we're going to have to be putting into place to make sure we can worship in a way that is safe for everybody? So obviously the first question we have then is, well, what does it mean that we're going to sit outside? What requirements are we going to have? Well, pretty simple. Even though we're going to be sitting outside, we still need to maintain our social distancing, okay? If you come as one family, obviously you and your family can sit together, but otherwise try to maintain some space between each other as we go to sit in and amongst ourselves outside and worship. Also, try to refrain from shaking hands and hugging folks. I know it's been a long time since maybe some of you have seen each other face to face as opposed to just seeing each other through car windows. But we need to still be cognizant of the fact that there are still possibilities of transferring this virus even if you are not feeling any symptoms. Asymptomatic carriers is what they refer to that. So let's not shake hands, let's not hug one another. If you think you're going to find it extremely difficult to do either number one or number two, then we ask that you please wear a mask. This is not a requirement necessarily. It is something, though, that is highly encouraged and even recommended. Now, I know you guys are smart people and you can follow directions and you can do what you need to do. But if you're still concerned about it, then we do, of course, encourage you to wear a mask. So social distance yourself, no shaking hands, no hugging, wear a mask. The next question that comes up is, well, what should I bring if I want to sit outside? That's a good question. You need to bring a chair, right? We're not going to set out any of the church's chairs outside. You need to bring your own chair from home if you want to sit outside. You might want to bring an umbrella, particularly if it is a sunny day. Now that we're getting towards the summertime here in northeastern North Carolina, it gets hot, the sun does come out. So if you want to have a little shade for yourself, bring an umbrella. Or if you want to bring a picnic blanket. If you don't want to sit in a chair, but instead want to kind of spread yourself out, or especially if you have younger ones that want to spread out a little bit, bring a picnic blanket and sit on that as we worship together. May want to bring something cold to drink. Again, temperatures might be a little bit hotter than we're used to these last few weeks, the last few times that we have gathered. So bring you something cold to drink. Maybe even pack a few waters in a cooler and bring that with you. And of course, a fan is always a good idea if you want to fan yourself because of the weather. Again, as you can see, this basically gives you the where you're going to be sitting, but also ways to make sure that you are comfortable if you're sitting outside at our worship service. Which brings us to probably the biggest question is, well, where exactly do we sit? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. What I have for you here is an overhead view of our church property. Now, this is done a few years ago because it doesn't have the gravel turnaround, it doesn't have the loading zone or the handicap spots. But if you can just picture in your mind what our outside looks like, this is the pavilion. And this is where me and the worship team have been each and every Sunday as we've done our drive-in worship. We're still going to be there on Sunday. What we're going to encourage people to do is if they want to sit outside, to sit in the gravel driveway, sit in the grassy area here in between the gravel driveway and the parking lot, sit over here in these grassy areas. If you can find a spot over here in this grassy area, that's where we want people to sit. It should give plenty of room for those that want to do so. Now, as far as parking, if you do not plan on sitting outside, then what we're going to do is have you guys park in these first two rows closest to the pavilion, similar to what you've been doing thus far with our drive-in worship. So if you are not going to sit outside, if you're going to stay in your car during worship service, park in these first two rows. If it is your intention that you're going to sit outside, then what we ask you to do here is to park toward the back, or even park over in the smaller parking lot and carry your chairs to where you want to sit down. Roughly what we're trying to do, friends, is to give as much space here up front for those who are not going to be outside, maybe some of our older folk, as much space up here in the front for some of our older and people that want to sit inside their cars during worship service and not have empty cars sitting here. All right, so again, if you're going to stay in your car, park here up the front or toward the front. If you want to sit outside, park towards the back or park out this way. Now, part of the plan for Sundays, because we are honoring our seniors, is we're going to try to have a tent set up here for our seniors to sit under. All right, but otherwise, this is going to be the plan moving forward as we go to sit outside. So to sum up, social distance, no shaking hands or hugging, bring a chair, bring a fan, bring something cold to drink. If you're not going to be outside, park here at the front. If you are going to be outside, park toward the back and carry your chairs up to where you want to sit. That's pretty much it as far as that goes. I hope it makes sense for everybody. If you got any questions, concerns, or comments, you know how to get in touch with me and let me know. God bless you, and we'll see you on Sunday.